upper hand in the season series following a win on Independence Day. More fireworks last night when Chicago traded the winning pitcher and today's scheduled starter. Find out if Gio and the Nats take advantage. Game 2 in a few on NASN. Big crowd at Nationals Park again. We had a record 4th of July gathering here yesterday. Now at 4 o'clock on a Saturday, the Nats trying to get back on that winning track. And who are these Cubs? They've won 4 in a row on this road trip, and they've won 5 in a row overall on the road. And when you ask who are these Cubs, they lost a bit of their identity today, FP. A very unusual blockbuster type trade when they send Jeff Samardzija and Jason Hamill to the same ball club, Oakland. This hardly ever happens.
Well, there's a lot of Nats fans that wish this trade would have happened on July 3rd the way Hamill pitched yesterday, but it happened last night. Jeff Samardzija, Jason Hamill to the Oakland A's, and when you talk about the A's going all in, they're 53-33 right now, 20 games over 500. They have a 3.5 game lead in the American League West, and they just added these two guys. They get Addison Russell. He's the main part of that deal. Shortstop, number 11 overall selection, 2012 draft. Had a right torn hamstring this year, but he's a guy that they said if he was healthy in Double-A could play in the big leagues right now, and they go with the spot starter, Carlos Villanueva.
Yeah, and he's made 4 starts this year, 75 in his big league career for several different clubs. He's not a power guy. He'll be around the plate. The Nats will have to be patient with him. Meanwhile, Gio Gonzalez last Saturday, it took a while. There were some bumps in the road along the way, but he outpitched the rookie Dallas Beeler and got the Nats a win.
Well, he started the doubleheader party in style. 3-0 win. He threw 7 shutout innings, struck out 7 Cubbies, and the changeup and curveball again for Gonzalez were great last time out. So he got that doubleheader sweep started in the right direction. And Villanueva today on a 50-pitch count. So it's going to be a staff day for the Cubs. You'll see a lot of their bullpen. And it'll be interesting to see what the Cubs do now over the next week or so to replace 40% of their rotation. Whoever's out there, they're going to have to face the suddenly resurgent Jason Worth. Last 3 games, 6 for 10, 3 doubles, couple of home runs, 6 RBIs. He's not spinning out anymore. He's going right to the baseball, hitting it with authority. Worth in the number 3 spot. The Nats and the Cubs game 2 right now.
Cardinals baseball on Masson, brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. And by Navy Federal Credit Union. 4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union. Nice crowd, beautiful day. Breeze is blowing in from the left field corner. The Nats are 26-18 at home. Cubs have won 5 in a row on the road and 8 of their last 10. Visit trainsearch.com to find your local Train Comfort Specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train really hard. Humidity, look at that, way down. After what we suffered through all week, 81 degrees at the ballpark. It's gorgeous. Cubs are still second from the bottom in batting average, but they're 10th in runs. They put 7 on the board yesterday, and Justin Ruggiano was responsible in part for 4 of them, driving in 2, scoring a couple. He's 7 for 14 over his last 3 games, and even over the last week, he has suddenly really gotten hot. He has 4 career hits and an RBI against Gio Gonzalez, and Gio makes his 6th career start against the Cubs. He's 2-1 with a good 3.03 ERA.
Now you remember the breaking ball last time against the Cubs with the pitch, and the changeup against the Brewers 2 starts ago was the pitch, but the changeup last time out was good. The fastball 92, he'll 2-seam it, 4-seam it, and Gio Gonzalez off the disabled list has been nothing but great last 2 starts.
Yeah, so what's the pitch today? We'll find out soon.
Well, it's all based on the fastball command and throwing strike 1.
Here's Junior Lake back in the lineup, hitting a 228. He's had kind of a rough week since running into that wall at Wrigley last week. By the way, we're underway at 4:06. Lake did that in the first of that series against the Nats a week ago Thursday. He's 0 for 15 lately, and he goes upstairs and fouls that one back. Junior member of the umpiring crew, Will Little, has the plate. Crew chief Ted Barrett's over at third. Paul Schreiber's second base, and Mike Everett first. Here's the 0-2, and Gio tried to walk him up the ladder. .393 ERA in 12 starts. The league's hitting .233 against him. And he locks up the hitter with a gorgeous breaking ball. Junior Lake couldn't stop his swing, and that's how the ball game gets underway.
A change the eye level, right? A couple of fastballs up, and then you see this out of Gio Gonzalez's hand. It looks like it's going to stay up. By the time you realize it's a curveball, it's in the dirt, it's too late. Good sequence right there by Gonzalez and Wilson Ramos.
Here's Justin Ruggiano. He's done some damage against Gio. 3 of his 4 hits against him, doubles. And Gonzalez will stand him up with a fastball up and in. Ruggiano at 271. Veteran guy, 32 years of age, a great story. Stuck with it for more than 9 years in the minor leagues. A couple of years with Tampa Bay and the Marlins, and now the Cubs.
Good changeup right here from Gio, down and away. When you talk to hitters, they talk about the movement on that changeup. It's hard to see it on TV, but they say it's late. Sometimes it cuts. Most of the time it goes away from a right-hander.
Two-one pitch. Target in. And some gas upstairs at 93.
And the thing I got from Brewer hitter after Gio's outing up in Milwaukee is we didn't even know he had a changeup.
Reaching to pull it. Zimmerman from near the bag bounces a throw, and LaRoche handles it like they were playing catch in the backyard. No big deal. 2 outs.
I watched Ryan earlier today. All the Nats out for infield before they took batting practice, and Ryan's arm looked fantastic at third base. This one in the dirt gave LaRoche a nice long hop right there, but I was shocked at the accuracy and the arm strength from Zimmerman before the game. Doesn't show it right there, and he's picked up by his first baseman, but you know, he was going to the backhand side, throwing everything right on the fly to LaRoche with some zip on him.
And there's Rizzo taking a bite out of a pitch inside. That'll be a strike.
Expo on the throw right here from Zimmerman. Fair ball. See the umpire's finger in the back. And then the dragonfly over his left shoulder.
The Exmo misses nothing. That's a breaking ball to Rizzo, hitting .295 against lefties this year. We'll have more on that later. It's by far the best he's done in his career against southpaw pitchers. And Gio's got some zip on that fastball up.
Let's have the defense real quick for the Nats. Harper, Spanworth, the outfield, Desmond Zimmerman, Rendon LaRoche, and Wilson Ramos. Stamp it.
And a 1-2. That is right in there with 91. What a start for Gio Gonzalez. Rizzo chats with Will Little. Gio heads for the dugout after a bullet to the outside edge. Just like he does when he gets into the box. He'll be leading off for the Nats, who are up to 7th in the league in runs scored right now. And why not when you have a number 8 hitter like Wilson Ramos? 8-game hitting streak right now, hitting .379. And since he came off the DL just 6 games ago, 7 hits, a homer, 3 RBIs, 3 walks. So this is a lineup that's tough to pitch to. Hopefully Carlos Villanueva, making his 76th career start, we'll find that out. Not a real big power guy here.
No, he's a guy that has to live on the corners of the plate. Fastball only averaging 88 miles an hour. He'll two-seam it and sink it. Slider, curveball combination for the off-speed. Also a changeup that he throws. And the 23rd appearance for Villanueva. Spot start. Opponents hitting .315. Lefties .338.
Denard Span 0 for 1 career against him. That's 87.
Going to go about 50 pitches for the Cubs today. And then they're going to go to their bullpen. So all hands on deck after the trade of Jeff Samardzija and Jason Hamill to the A's.
And by the way, the A's have Samardzija for another year and a half. He's signed through next year. Hamill is not. But they're sending a message to the rest of the teams in the American League that have tormented them in the playoffs that they want to be loaded for bear come October.
I don't know that I've ever seen a trade like that when you get 2 good starting pitchers in the same trade. And, you know, based on what I've seen, and that's all I can go by, is I think Hamill might be the steal of that trade.
Ooh, Denard Span takes one close. Villanueva thought he had a strikeout. The count's 1-2 to Denard, hitting at .266.
Obviously Samardzija the big name card, but based on what we've seen this year, Jason Hamill is good.
Get him in the other league. Nats play Oakland once every 3 years. That's okay with us.
Yeah, and I didn't have to try to spell Samardzija on my scorecard today, so that was good too.
Target away on 1-2. That's up and away. Big crowd, ballpark quiet. I think everybody's worn out from yesterday. Unbelievable fireworks on the river again last night, right over by the Washington Monument, between there and the Lincoln Memorial. Fantastic night.
Unbelievable.
And everybody kind of settling in for a 4 p.m. ball game here. 2-2 to Span. And Denard with a good take will lay off the breaking ball, and he's gone from 0-2 to 3-2.
Yeah, the last appearance for Villanueva was on July 2nd in Boston. It was in 2 innings of relief. He gave up 2 runs on 2 hits, gave up a home run. And now called into emergency duty.
He started against the Phillies, Cardinals, Reds, and Brewers this year. St. Louis and Milwaukee on the road. He's 1-3 as a starter. And Span will lift one to left, and on the run and making a dive is Chris Coghlan to get the first out of the game for the Cubs. That gets by him at least 3 bags for Denard Span.
Well, based on the crowd reaction here, there's either a lot of Cubs fans at Nats Park right now, or Nats fans appreciating a good play by Chris Coghlan, but that got a big-time ovation on the diving catch to start this game off.
And I think you nailed it. It's a little bit of both. I heard a lot of Cub fans in the ballpark yesterday. Nice. And, of course, the Nats are one of those teams that plays in a city where no matter who comes in here, somebody who's a fan of that team lives and works here, and we're going to hear from them on occasion. Nats fans over the last 6 or 7 years, though, have done a good job of keeping the ballpark away from those folks.
Well, they did a nice job of showing up at Wrigley Field, too. There was tons of Nats fans in Chicago.
They did. Here's Rendon back in the 2-hole today, and that's outside 2-0. Anthony Rendon's on an 8-game hitting streak. 0 for 1 against Villanueva, who's 30 years of age from Santo Domingo. He's pitched for Milwaukee, Toronto, and now the Cubs, and he has made starts for all 3 of those clubs. Anthony taking all the way, and that pitch is high, 3-0. He was conceding a strike if Carlos would have thrown it right down the middle. And that's not even close. 1 on, 1 out. Went to a long count on Span, then he walked Rendon. Now he has to deal with the selective Jason Worth.
Here's your Cubbies defense today behind Villanueva. Coghlan, Lake, Ruggiano, the outfield. Castro, Olt, left side. Barney Rizzo, right side. And Wellington Castillo behind the plate.
Jason Worth has homered 2 consecutive games, and what a bomb yesterday.
You see how he's standing straight up, creating a lot of backspin right now? Knew he got it. Good extension, backside, good balance, great swing.
Catching it out front, and away it went.
And you can run on Villanueva, very deliberate to the plate.
Well, that's good news for an offense that likes to run. The Nats 45 out of 54 stealing this year. And Worth goes up hacking right after the walk. Trying to go first pitch ambush and put his team on top by a couple. Inside the numbers with Jeep in July last 2 years. And only 30 games because Jason's had some injuries this time of the year. Hitting nearly 400. Looking for his first career hit against Villanueva. He's 0 for 6. Big breaking ball.
All right, take a couple of big hacks, and now you shorten up and try to go to right and use that hole that Anthony Rendon has created by walking.
They've got Worth bunched toward that left center gap.
Yeah, look at the hole on the right side.
Yeah, right center and left field line.
He said he saw that in Chicago. If you remember the second game of the doubleheader, he jammed himself on purpose to try to push the ball through that hole, and he did it.
0-2. That's out, said Will Little.
That's twice that Carlos Villanueva has walked off the mound thinking he had a strikeout, and twice they've been called balls. And that'll get the attention of a home plate umpire, and definitely the attention of the other team's dugout.
First time we've seen Will Little behind the plate. If Rendon would do some running, he is 7 of 8 this year. There's not a Nationals base runner who's been caught more than twice.
Big lead by Rendon.
And a long look. And Worth is out on a fastball up. 2 down. Villanueva, 38 strikeouts now in 46 innings.
Now climb the ladder, top of the strike zone, 92, and now the Cubs take Mike Olt and put him all the way into right field. So their third baseman is playing right field, and their middle infielders are kind of standing exactly where they just were.
Yeah, that's interesting. You hardly ever see a third baseman go by 2 guys on his way to the right side. Adam LaRoche is 3 for 14 career against Villanueva with a double and a home run. First target is away, and LaRoche may be thinking about left field. We've seen his fastball top out at 90 here. And FP, when you have a guy who's not blowing people away 94, 95, does it make it a little tougher to lay off that high fastball?
It does, because you're telling yourself against a guy like Villanueva who wants to keep everything down to elevate him. That's the game plan. So when you see something bell tie, your eyes light up. And
Rendon running, the throw way off. And Anthony Rendon's into scoring position with his 8th steal of the year.
And then the tricky part comes when, is this too high? But right there, you look at Rendon. He has a big lead and steals that easily.
Even took a peek back about 2/3 of his way down there.
Not a good throw by Wellington Castillo. He had to rush because of the jump by Rendon.
Yep. Castillo now 6 for 40, but that's not all on him. That's under 15% caught stealing for their starting catcher. Now Adam has to battle. He's 0-2 here. 1 career RBI against the Cubs right-hander.
When you're 6 for 40, Carp, I would say a lot of it has to be on the catcher. I mean, you can only do so much as a pitcher.
Well, I said not all of it. But he's obviously not getting a whole lot of help.
Right. Not today, at least.
No. Wilson Ramos, in contrast, 8 for 16. Smaller sample size, but and Jose Lobaton's been pretty solid as well. The Nats have done a good job this year of stalling opponents' running games compared to years past. Target away again, and LaRoche extends and stays alive again.
Well, I know when I was 6 for 40 as a hitter, I would always blame it on the pitchers.
There you go.
It was never my fault.
Or the hitting coach.
Yeah. Or the manager for putting me in the lineup. Your fault. You put me in there.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
Yeah, thanks for starting me against Randy Johnson today, Skip. Runner at second, 2 outs. They have an inside target now, just to give LaRoche a different look, and he goes right field, and that ball is fouled by just a couple of feet.
So close.
Right at the top of that green wall, narrowly missing a home run.
And you could tell just by the fans sitting right there, they saw it better than anybody. Adam LaRoche had a good look running down the first baseline, but this just misses. Watch where this ball hits.
Right at the top of the green wall and skipped up into the seats over the railing. It's kind of an odd little home run area there because that part of the wall is higher than the scoreboard in right center if you're within 3 feet of the foul line there.
And you look at the defense by the Cubs. The steal of second by Rendon has moved the shift back to almost normal. Holt back to third base, Darwin Barney in short right field, and there's a few more holes on the right side for LaRoche on a ground ball.
Boy, they tried to come in once. Would they do it again? Not this time. Ball gets away. Rendon to third base. So the Nats don't have a hit in the inning. They have a chance to score, and Villanueva's now thrown 20 pitches.
On a ball in the dirt, when you're already in scoring position, you have to make it kick one way or the other before you advance. When you're on first base, just ball in the dirt, if you read it, it can go. Watch Rendon. He sees it kick to the right, then he goes. Good read to advance 90 feet.
Inside. 2-2. Well, if he's set for 50 pitches, he may soon be halfway there in the first inning. They called up left-hander Chris Rusin, who has done some starting in the past, to shore up their bullpen. And I think you told me earlier he would be the guy to follow.
Yeah, he's coming in next.
This right-hander.
That's what I was told by some Cubs people.
2-2 now. And LaRoche will lift one to left for Chris Coghlan, whose play on Span may have kept the Nats off the board in the first inning. And he puts away a routine fly ball to end a long bottom of the first for Carlos Villanueva. Ballpark today. He's going to have one of those days down in the seats when he hears, "I hate to bother you, but." So he's been signing and shaking hands and taking pictures with our Nats fans.
Sun's out, guns out for RG3. I think that's Mrs. 3 he's sitting with, too. The Battle of the Beltway begins. Nats, Orioles, July 7th at 8 at Nats Park. Don't miss the Orioles' only visit to the district as the Nats look to rule the Beltway.
Ooh.
That's coming up, folks.
Rule the Beltway.
Yes.
You know, there are two beltways. Ours is a little bigger, a little longer than the one around Baltimore, but we're back at it against the O's. 4 in a row starting Monday. First 2 here.
After all I ate yesterday, I'm trying to rule the belt buckle. It's not working.
Good call. Here's Starlin Castro, who may be headed for his 3rd All-Star game in 4 years.
Yeah,
reached 50 RBIs yesterday.
You'd think, right? He, Anthony Rizzo, one of the two, both. And maybe Rendon, LaRoche, Soriano, or Storm.
That'd be great. Clippard may be a candidate as well.
Sure. Well, I just said pick anyone out of the bullpen.
Sure.
Hats, put their names in it, pick it out, and you're an all-star.
From their beautiful new elevated platform in right field. 1-2 now. And Gio goes in the dirt. Castro waved the bat at it, but Mike Everett said no swing.
So the Cubs in this trade, as you look at Castro, did he go? No. Addison Russell, number 11 overall selection in the 2012 draft, is a shortstop, and they say that he's close to being ready. He's in Double-A, had a torn hamstring.
Wow, what a good swing that is. Tremendous contact on 2-2, going the other way, and the Cubs have the game's first base hit.
And the Cubs have some other big-time prospects that are shortstops, but they say that this Addison Russell guy is a Barry Larkin type of player.
Wow.
And,
well,
you know, you wonder what the Cubs are going to do with Starlin Castro moving forward if this guy's a true shortstop. I feel like Castro's more of a hitter that plays shortstop. And Rick Renteria and the Cubs, they're going to have some interesting decisions to make, but they reloaded their minor league system yesterday. They got some good prospects, the top 2 prospects from the Oakland A's for the two pitchers they traded.
I find the thing interesting about the trade, and there's a strike to Castillo, Wellington Castillo, the catcher. We heard in Chicago last week that the Cubs organization is top heavy in position players. Most of the young prospects are position guys at West Tennessee. They're AA in Des Moines, called Iowa. They're AAA. And now they've added even more firepower with the guy you mentioned, Addison. And Billy McKinney, along with Addison Russell. Billy McKinney's an outfielder. Dan Straley a pitcher. And the Cubs need arms. So maybe they're far from done dealing here.
Well, they traded Ryan Dempster and Paul Mahone in 2012, and then Matt Garza and Scott Feldman last July. So
yeah,
I mean, they've traded 6 pitchers the last 3 seasons.
Veteran guys.
Veteran guys.
Maybe some young arms on the horizon.
But like I said in the open, couldn't they have made that trade on July 3rd? Jason Hammel wouldn't have been here yesterday.
Billy Beane, couldn't you have added that extra guy back then? There is a player to be named later.
I find it interesting that the Cubs' philosophy is to take pitches, work the count. Theo Epstein, Jed Hoyer, that's what they like. So they do a deal with the A's, who teach that in their minor league system, and they're going to get some hitters back that obviously go deep into counts, have high on base percentages.
1-2 now. Castro's been on the move here during this at bat. Well, I guess if there's a young infielder destined to play in Chicago someday, his first name should be Addison.
Good call.
We'll see where he ends up. At short, or Castro somewhere else, or Starlin Castro staying where he is, and maybe Russell goes to second or third. They've got a young third baseman who's in the ballgame today, Mike Olt. Big power guy, but he's hitting $150. Still adjusting to major league pitching. Runner moving, pitch up. Ramos a bullet, and it's not even close at second base. 9 for 17 now for Wilson Ramos.
Well, great throw by Ramos right there. And you look at the jump from Castro, not a good jump. And kind of slows down to slide. Awkward slide by the Cubs shortstop, and I'm wondering if that was a hit and run that just kind of locked up Wellington Castillo right there. It was so up and in that he couldn't fire off a swing, but it didn't look like a straight steal from Starlin Castro. A, because he looked in, and B, because he got less than a good jump, I guess is the right way to say it.
You know, I wrote CS. You know, usually you write down 2-6. I wrote down 9 for 17. I'm so impressed with his percentage, Ramos, but it is a 2-6. And now a full count to Castillo. There's a hit. It's amazing in this game, after you lose a base runner, it seems like the next guy always gets a base hit. Bryce Harper throws one by Anthony Rendon, but he kept it low and it bounced into LaRoche. So the Cubs have 1 on, 1 out, 2 consecutive hits.
Now Bryce Harper going down the corner and showing off the hose. Good swing by Castillo. Adam LaRoche right there to back it up.
Here's that Mike Olt, right-handed hitter we were talking about. Big, strong kid. 11 home runs, 27 RBIs. They got him in a trade from the Rangers, part of that Matt Garza deal, July 22nd of last year. 0-2 inside. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Well, Villanueva not getting the inside pitch, and Gio Gonzalez doesn't get that right there. Both thought they had strike threes on fastballs in. Villanueva's were on the other side of the plate.
And you can hear that ball skip into the mid of Wilson Ramos, who makes a good scoop from behind the hitter. And
good stop. Good glove stop by Wilson.
2-2. Changeup got him. Well, big power hitter geared up for a heater, way out ahead. 2 outs on Gio's 3rd strikeout.
You see the grip on the changeup, just turning it over right there. And man, is he getting some big time confidence in the changeup this year. And we talked about it last start at Wrigley Field against these very Cubs. You almost like Gio Gonzalez as a finesse pitcher better than you did as a power pitcher. And I say that with all due respect. He's still throwing 92, 93 miles an hour, and the fastball does have jump. But the way he's incorporated the changeup now, I think, makes him even more of a deadly weapon.
Ball hit in the air, unreachable. You know, FP, I'm with you there, and I'm for anything that keeps Gio around the plate and helps him avoid those 25 and 30 pitch innings, which have bothered him in the past.
Well, he's never really had anything soft. The fastball is hard. The curveball he throws as hard as he can. They're both coming at you hard. And as a hitter, you just go up there and you're sitting on something that's going to be firm. And now you have to think about an 84-mile-an-hour changeup that looks just like the fastball, and according to hitters, disappears late. Well, it's not an easy at bat.
There's the heater, beautiful outside edge at 92 in the count. 0-2.
Good command of the fastball.
Outfield around to the left for Coughlin. Contact guy. Goes the other way a lot. And he managed to get out around that thing and foul it off.
Just kind of wrapping up that trade, though, Carp. The A's 53 and 33, 20 games over. They have a 3.5 game lead in the American League West, and still by far the best team I've seen play this year.
Yeah.
They just got better. Look out. It sounds like Billy Beane is sick of being eliminated in the first round, and he wants to add a championship to his resume because he's all in.
A couple of teams in the American League that have bothered Oakland in the past, like Texas, 16 games out, all beat up. Red Sox are 8 games out in the East, and even the Tigers have some issues here. There is no doubt who's the best team over there and how long can they sustain it. They took a big step forward last night. And not only did they pick up 2 pitchers, they kept a bunch of other teams from picking up either one of those guys.
Right.
Because there aren't that many great arms out there available right now with 26 days to go before the trading deadline. I mean, they get these guys for 3 months. 2-2 pitch. And a breaking ball. Ramos again picking one up on a short hop.
Yeah, it's good that the Braves didn't get Jason Hamill with his record against the Nats or anybody else in the National League.
(3-2). Castile on the run at first. LaRoche way behind him. And Coughlin with a great swing into left field for a base hit. No way Bryce could catch that ball, so he knocked it down. And the Cubs have 3 hits in this inning. Caught stealing costly. Number 8 man. Here comes the number 8 quandary in the National League with the pitcher on deck. Runner in scoring position. 2 guys on. How carefully do you pitch the number 8 man, or do you pitch to him at all? You have a reliever on deck, at least most of this year.
Well, you go right after him here because you have confidence in your offense that if he does get a base hit, that you had to score anyways to win this game. And if the Cubs go ahead 1-0, so what? You go right after him here. Late in the game, maybe a different story.
Diamondbacks have 3 early runs at Atlanta. 3-1, bottom of the first. Nats start today, a game and a half back of the Braves, who've won 8 in a row. And a ball to left. Harper going back, and he will get there to catch it at the edge of the track. An anxious moment against the number 8 hitter. Barney hit it well, but Gio gets the out. And it'll be Zimmerman, Harper, and Desmond coming up.
Experience an Nats game at the next level by enjoying it from a Nationals Park suite. Options include the Party Suites, Luxury Suites, and the Silver Slugger Suite. That one is sweet. For more information, call 202-675-NATS or visit nationals.com/suites.
So are we broadcasting at the highest level today?
Yes.
Every day.
We are.
Freight Railworks. And what the Nats do up this inning have done against right-handed pitching. Zimmerman, good RBI total. Bryce Harper, limited sample. Some work to be done there. And Ian Desmond, 42 of his 51 RBIs against right-handers.
The Rockies have actually done studies on our broadcast booth to see how our red blood cells recover when we go on the road.
They found out that their broadcasters came back to Colorado really fatigued. We keep our headsets in humidors. Ryan Zimmerman, bottom of the second, leads off. 297 for Ryan. 5 RBIs over his last 10 games. That's hit hard. And even Castro can't get the whole glove on it. Got a piece of it into left field. And Ryan Zimmerman is aboard for the Nats.
Well, there goes the no-hitter. Ryan Zimmerman style. And they were showing his first major league hit on the scoreboard here before the game. And I think it was a double in the left center field gap. He was number 25 in that first big league hit, and he looked like he was about 15 years old.
September of 2005. You know, he came up and hit 397 in 20 games that month. Went 23 for 58.
Got the Zimmerman on, and I have a Zimmerman sitting right next to me, and we're going to show it to you today during the broadcast.
Cool. Might be the first guy up here to ever reach into our microwave.
Well, it's got a plate in it. And it's protective. You just think, you know, it looks like a mitt, but it actually has a steel plate in it. And it's a little bit heavier than you would think. And I've been wearing it around all day, and I think it would be awkward to head first slide with that thing.
Well, and we saw that last week, and you'll get a chance to explain why. Harper, fastball by him at 90. 1-1. Bryce 3 for 15 this week since returning. He's had 98 official at-bats this year, 27 hits. 0 for 2 career against Carlos Villanueva.
Yeah, he doesn't miss many center cut fastballs. 1-0 at 90 right down the middle.
Squares around to bunt, then he bunts it right down the first base line. Crowd clapping for what will probably be ruled a sacrifice. And I know some opposing clubs feel fortunate when Bryce Harper does bunt. He makes it a productive out, though, gets Zimmerman to second.
Not a bad idea. He's going for a hit right here. Probably wanted it more toward Darwin Barney at second base. But that's the old bunt for a hit. And if the worst thing that happens is you advance the runner and get a sack, so be it. A lot of players do that. Not a bad idea by Harper. And now Ian Desmond has a chance to drive in Ryan.
And then Ramos behind him. That's the thing about getting to the bottom of this Nats order if you're the opposing pitcher. It's not like first base is open right now and you don't have to do anything with Desmond. You lose him, you're looking at a number 8 hitter who could make it 3-0.
I don't think they'll pitch to Ramos if Ian Desmond doesn't reach right here. We'll see.
Yeah, that's the key. So Desmond 0 for 3 against Villanueva. And that bends outside. That's a good take for Ian, who's had a tough time lately with that pitch. Counts even 1-1. Outfield, pulled position except for the right fielder Ruggiano. Huge gap in right center. You could put the entire scoreboard between the outfielders and still have about 60 or 70 feet left. And he'll pull it to left. Zimmerman around third. Bob Henley with an easy send. The Nats take the lead on Ian Desmond's 52nd run batted in.
Just such a good off-speed hitter when it has plate. Anytime you throw Ian Desmond a curveball right down the middle, I think you're doing him a favor. He catches it out front right there and does a nice job of staying through the baseball. And like you said, good read by Ryan Zimmerman. He knew it was going to fall. Broke like there was 2 outs and an easy send for Henley, and the Nats are up 1-0.
Wilson Ramos now, the number 8 hitter. Yeah, for Ian Desmond now, 7 for his last 20. If he steals second, does he take the bat out of Ramos' hands? We'll see how it transpires here.
With 2 outs, yes.
Yeah.
With 1 out, no, because if you want to walk Ramos, then you're hoping that Gio bunts 2 runners into scoring position.
Yeah, so they've got a great situation going here. Ramos into this game, 7 for his last 21. Counting a couple of games before he got hurt, an 8-game hitting streak.
Nats 32-12 when they score first.
Wow. Starting today, 7 games over 500, so that stat alone 20 over.
And they are 46-0 when they lead after the game.
Crowd starting to clap a bit. They want more. First lead in this series for Washington. And Desmond able to step back in there. Ian Desmond next stolen base will put him into double digits. He's 9 for 11.
Plenty of time to steal 11 bases, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. In fact, he's had more in the last couple of weeks than in the first part of the season. He started, then stopped. And then Ramos reaching for one, topped it. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, that's smart. He has the green light. Didn't get his best jump. Villanueva sped up his delivery right there. And what you do as a base runner, you take the first 2 steps hard. If he continues with his leg kick high and long, you run. And if he speeds you up with a slide step, you choke it off. Sounds simple, but I've seen a lot of guys run through slide steps and get thrown out by 5 feet.
Yeah. I was just thinking, it doesn't sound simple to me. That's a lot for a base runner to read while you're in motion, huh?
Yeah. You just feel it. You're watching.
Target in on 1 and 2. They better get it in there. That's up and in. It'll back Wilson out of there. And the count's even 2-2.
Can't scare Buffalo. Not even try. Wilson Ramos as a catcher, wondering now, is he going to go to the other side of the plate with some off speed?
Well, watch the catcher. You might have your answer.
Or is he going to double up on the inside? And they're going out there.
Castillo inching outside. Wants the ball down. Gets it and gets the strikeout. A perfect 2-strike pitch by Carlos Villanueva, his second K of the day. Nissan will track it.
Well, as a hitter, you always wonder, that setup pitch for another fastball in? Or are they going the other side of the plate with the off speed? And right there, Villanueva went to the other side.
Here comes Gio Gonzalez, 2 for 20 this year with a home run, 2 RBIs. Went upstairs and got a piece of it. Nationals are going to get Villanueva, if not over, up near 40 pitches here in his first 2 innings. 36 right now, 22 of those in the first inning. And Gio will go out and foul it straight back. He pulls it, and a nasty one-hopper knocked down by the third baseman Mike Old with a good play, and maybe equally as well for him. He bounced up and had the throw right on target.
So Bryce Harper with the sacrifice bunt. Ryan Zimmerman scores the first run of the game on the Ian Desmond base hit, and look at the Zimmermans right out of the oven. There's smoke coming from it on the high five to Wilson Ramos. Exmo, and you know how I see everything but the game up here. Check out the dragonfly flying over Ryan Zimmerman's. It's coming out of the curly W. See it right there? So we got dragonfly. Look out, Ryan. That was a flyby with the dragonfly and the throw to first base. And then check out this one. Dragonfly living dangerously right here. Look out.
Whoa. He felt to go by, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Good swing by Gio right there. Hit a bullet to third base, but 9 lives for that dragonfly that's floating around the infield right there. And I'm saying it's the same one.
Okay. Not sure how you can tell, but
well, he's a baseball fan. He's got good seats.
It's like somebody asked us yesterday, you guys ever get any birds up here? We said no, but we get some bugs the size of birds.
Yeah.
way up in the upper right-hand corner. We're right next to the curly W here, and we go to the top of the third inning.
All right, send us a picture of your dragonfly using Masson fan photos. That's how you hashtag it. We'll show it at a broadcast. Show you one today. It's brought to you by AT&T.
Villanueva, Lake, and Ruggiano. That's Gio's 40th pitch of the day. He threw 26 pitches in the second, giving up 3 hits. The caught stealing throw by Ramos was huge, kept the Cubs off the board. And then the pitcher swinging from the heels. He's not a bad hitter. 107 career with 4 RBIs. 0 for 5 this season with a couple of sacrifice bunts. As mentioned, he has started 4 games for the Cubs. They were all back in April. Shadows starting to creep with our 4:06 p.m. start today. And there's a curveball that punches him out. Came right through the side door, and that's number 4 for Gio.
Well, that's $37 right there. Gio Gonzalez. DC area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making that donation to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this year.
First time through the order. The Cubs go 3 for 9, 4 Ks. There's Junior Lake trying to bunt, but he bunts it right to Gio, who came bouncing off the mound in good fashion. Why, nothing like a quick out like that right after you've retired the pitcher. Bases empty, 2 outs for Justin Ruggiano. Cubs picked him up for Brian Bogusevic in a December deal last year from Miami. Hit 18 homers, drove in 50 for the Marlins last year, but only hit 222. Gio feeling good about the breaking ball, throwing it to right-handed hitters. Counts even, 1-1. Cubs have their more traditional road jerseys on today. They had the alternate jerseys yesterday that said Cubs across the front. Chicago today, and that's 3-1. Ruggiano did a good job of laying off the 1-1 changeup. And he went. Would have been ball 4.
Yeah, how about the confidence in Gio with the changeup right now, throwing a 3-1 changeup.
Yeah, with Rizzo on deck.
You like it. Ruggiano swinging the bat well, and Gio having confidence in that pitch. Now he's going to go fastball.
Jams in, and the right-handed hitter able to foul it away.
Man, there's so much data in today's game. You get stats like Ruggiano swings 80% of the time on a 3-1 count. That's how you have the wherewithal to throw that pitch.
He's been great on 3 and 2, but no homers, 1 RBI. That was a home run cut. And a fly ball to left. It's going to bring Bryce to the track in the shadows. Puts it away about 10 feet short of where the Cubs hoped it would go. 1-2-3 for Gio.
In the bottom of the third inning, Cox delivering life's most important connections. Ryan Zimmerman getting the party started, breaking up the no-hitter in the second inning with a little base hit in the 5.5 hole past the diving Starlin Castro. And then after a Bryce Harper sacrifice bunt, so give Bryce a lot of credit for getting Ryan in scoring position. He and Desmond taking advantage, and that's the Nats run, and that's where we stand.
Wilson Ramos told Ryan he didn't have to slide, but he did anyway. Let's slide it down to Masson Dan. He's got more on Denard Span.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. With his double in the third inning yesterday, Span now has 32 extra base hits on the season. That's the most of any leadoff hitter in baseball. And Span actually has the second most extra base hits on the Nationals roster, just a couple behind Anthony Rendon. Now, some of his critics point to his on-base percentage in that leadoff spot, but there's no doubt that Span has given the Nationals opportunities to get runners in. He's putting himself in scoring position more than pretty much anybody on their roster.
Yeah, it's interesting debate. Dan, thank you. Leadoff guy gets on a couple of times, but what if you have a leadoff guy who gets to second base a couple of times a game?
Well, you would think his 13 stolen bases would be higher, but he runs past first all the time. I mean,
True.
He could steal third, but
Denard stole 20 last year. And coupled with his 13 this season, he has 123 career bags.
just perfect weather.
Oh my gosh, it's wonderful.
2 days have been amazing.
First time I've ever wanted to put a shirt and tie on and get in a hammock. It's awesome.
Wait. Shirt and tie in a hammock?
Yeah.
All right.
It's that nice out. We're usually up here suffering this time of the year. So there are your league leaders. Starlin Castro, of course, in the yard today. Denard also has 28 multi-hit games, and that puts him in the top 10 in the National League in that category. Double in 4 trips yesterday. Hit it to right center. He's been wearing out that gap lately. Lays off the breaking ball. Remember, first at bat of the game, he was 0-2. Fouled off some pitches, battled back to a full count, and then Coughlin robbed him of at least a double with a diving catch in left field.
He's such a good reader of the off speed with 2 strikes. And that's because he doesn't have a lot going on in his stance with 2 strikes. Gets that foot down early, really hits out of a nose stride approach so his head's still, and for the most part he makes good decisions.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Goes the other way. Just drops it right in front of the guy who robbed him last time. So here's Denard Span aboard. 13 out of 15 stealing. Rendon, a versatile number 2 man, coming up.
Yeah, that base hit, a product of him taking the curveball from Villanueva to extend the at-bat. Yeah, the curveball is in the dirt, but we've seen a lot of guys chase that same pitch this year. Span laying off, gets an elevated fastball, slaps it into left field. And let's see if he thinks about stealing off Villanueva.
Rendon walks, stole a base first time. This puts a lot of pressure on any defense, not just Span, but Rendon so good at using the entire field. So Darwin Barney 10 to 15 feet from where he would usually play second base, because they cheat for a double play ball. Opens up some holes. And Denard back in. That was closer. Cubs picked him off once last weekend. That was the rookie Beeler making his major league debut. And he hops out to a 3 or 4 step lead here. And a third throw. Haven't you said in the past they seldom throw over more than 3 times?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if he throws over a 4th time right here. What he'll probably do is, you know, based on what they've seen with Span getting back, if they think he's going, go slide step right here and speed up the delivery. A lot of times pitcher does that, they forget about the hitter and they leave something right down the middle. That's 4.
Yeah, 4 in a row.
This is where you call timeout. If you're Denard Span, get off the base, take your time now. Yeah, we We say a lot of times pickoff throws are designed to see if the guy's going or not. I think Villanueva is trying to pick off Denard Span right here.
Finally home, and he gets a fastball to the inside corner. Well, Rendon 35 points higher when a pitcher's off the stretch.
Oh. 7 RBIs with nobody on. That's pretty good. Knocking himself in.
And then he couldn't stop his swing there. So it's 0-2. Nats had their leadoff man on for the second straight inning. We showed you the Zimmerman, Harper, Desmond sequence that got the Nats the lead in the second. They play Anthony slightly to the left, big gap in right center, but he has to protect now. And Villanueva tried to paint the outside corner.
It's the third time Villanueva's thought he's had strike 3 on a fastball in the same spot. Watch the reaction. Watch a pitch first, and then the pitcher walking off the mound thinking, it's strike 3. Nope, didn't get the call.
And Mercedes-Benz pitch track showing that was not as close as the one last time.
Good count to run on if you're Span.
Started, then stopped, and that's low and away.
And the reason it's a good count to run on him, 1-2, generally an off-speed count, and you're hoping you get something in the dirt. But Villanueva real quick with the delivery right there. The pitch was right. It was off-speed. It was in the dirt. But
well, there's the left-hander, Chris Rusin, who we talked about. Right-hander, Justin Grimm up as well. This is going to be a long bullpen day for the Cubs. Jeff Samardzija on his way to Oakland was to be the starter. Target in here on 2-2. And it'll be up to Anthony Rendon. And now you'd think Span with 1 out will be off and running. He's at 48 pitches.
Went fastball up and into Ramos, then slider away.
Span on the move, and Rendon fouls it straight back. A lot of pitches, a lot of action here to the first 2 batters in the third.
There's a responsibility that a hitter has in a 3-2 count with the runner moving to swing at a strike or near strike. You know, the last thing you want to do is take a called third. So when you know the runner's going in a 3-2 count as a hitter, you expand your zone a little bit to protect the runner.
Span moving, and a Rendon pop fly right side. This is going to be close, and it's about 5 or 6 feet over the barrier.
Nationals Summer Catch 4-packs are available right now. Pick any 3 Nationals game and get a 4th game free, plus a new era cap. Go to the website nationals.com/summer for more info.
Well, part of the crowd bathed in sunshine here. The other third base side folks in the shade.
Down in front.
Beautiful day either way. 81 at game time. And a 3-2 again with nobody out. There goes Span. Rendon stays alive.
Well, you can see Rendon's swing right now. Obviously, he's trying to hit the ball to the right side because Darwin Barney is covering on the steal. Basically has the whole right side of the infield to play with, and the inside-out swing with 2 strikes on the fastball. And he's trying to hit the hole. Watch the hands come inside the baseball, and he's watching after the play that Darwin Barney's covering, and I think he's trying to shoot that to the right side.
Man, from way up and in to way down and away in this sequence. And another check of Span by Villanueva, knowing he'd be running. Try to catch him in a lean. Counting the throws to first, Villanueva's 10 pitches over his limit right now. Pitch number 9 coming in this at bat. And Rendon jacks one to left. That is over the head of Chris Coghlan. Great read by Span. He scores easily. Nationals lead 2-0. What an at-bat by the Nats. Number 2 man Anthony Rendon. RBI number 49.
That was an all-star at-bat. 19th double of the year, and that time he decided, I'm just going to hit it where it's pitched. And good read by Denard Span, like you said, Carp. He knew that was over Chris Coghlan's head right away, and chugging around third base to make this a 2-0 game. One of the better at-bats of the season right there by Anthony Rendon. Wow.
And if Chris Rusin is scheduled to follow Villanueva, like FP was told, this would be his last batter worth with LaRoche on deck. Rusin, the left-hander, out there. Right now, the Nats by 2. Runner at second, nobody out. Villanueva struck out Worth first time up. And the heater right in there at 90.
Just a 9-pitch gem right there by the Nats second baseman. Wow, what a great at-bat. He can play, flat out play.
Yeah, back in the number 2 spot today. Walk, a steal, double RBI. Strike 2 to Worth. Villanueva has saved his best pitches today for Jason Worth, who's a good RBI man. I mean, despite some of the struggles for Jason for a couple of weeks, he got his RBI total this week into the 40s. He's sitting at 41. That's unbeaten when Span scores with Rendon following him. Right now 2-0. They've out hit the Cubs 4-3. Nats have sure made their hits count here. And Worth IDs the breaking ball and ends up way outside.
Funny how Matt Williams went right back to Anthony Rendon batting second today after experimenting with Bryce Harper. And Rendon, back in his familiar second spot in the order, comes through big time.
And a step off by the pitcher. In his 4 starts, the farthest Villanueva went was 5 innings. And that's close. Worth took it. 3-2, and the pitcher comes walking off the mound again, looking at the umpire.
Yeah, he was asking Will Little where that was, and you can see the frustration in Carlos Villanueva. It's the 4th time, I believe, that he's thrown a fastball for a strike and a 2-strike count and didn't get the call. I don't think that was close. That's on Wellington Castillo for setting up off the plate. He hit the target, but the target wasn't over home.
Now 3-2 to Worth. Target back in there.
It's not over home again.
On a pitch up, Worth hits it hard to right center, and that's going to one-hop the wall. Takes a nice hop for the Nats. Rendon scores easily. 3-0 Washington. The Nats are hitting some rockets around the ballpark right now.
Yeah, Nats saving the fireworks from the 4th of July for the 5th of July here today. 18th double of the year for Jason Worth. And Anthony Rendon went to tag up on this ball. You see the location mistake, up and out over the plate. It was supposed to be down and in. And if Junior Lake doesn't fall right here, I don't know if Bob Henley sends Rendon. But the fact that he fell down, looked for the baseball, gave Henley the opportunity to send Anthony Rendon, because he went back to the bag to tag up. And I don't know that he would have scored unless there was a misstep by the Cubs center fielder. Nice at bat by Jason Worth, Denard Span, and Anthony Rendon. Line is moving, folks.
58 pitches, 35 strikes for Villanueva. This call to the bullpen package by the UPS Store, your one-stop shop for all your small business needs. Let us handle your mailbox service needs. We love logistics. Lefty Chris Rusin on the way. Rocking with the Nats right now. They about hit the Cubs 5-3. And on top 3-0. The lead guitar guy and the lead vocalist had a number 28 jersey on right there. And Jason Worth just got his 42nd RBI of the year. So when they both have a hit, the Nats are 21 over. When they both score a run, the Nationals are perfect.
Yeah,
so they've done both today.
That is Anthony Rendon under the towel. Take our word. And I don't think the baseball gods love the fact that they broke those two guys up yesterday. They're back together again today and doing their thing at the top of the order when they're on base. Obviously, by that stat, tough to beat.
Chris Rusin for the Cubs now. And he just was called up after the big trade last night. Cubs are actually one player short, one pitcher short. Had to take Villanueva out of the right side of their bullpen to start today. Adam LaRoche is 1-for-1 career against the left-hander. Ball one.
You know, Rusin, a guy that really has to live on the corners of the plate. He doesn't have the stuff to even flirt with the middle of the plate. He'll keep you off balance. The fastball average is 87. Got a slider, cutter, curveball, and a change to go with it. But he'll come right at you. I think he started against the Nats last year at Nats Park here.
He did. It's a little tapper. That's a fair ball. And Castillo threw it to third when Jason Worth was almost already there. So everybody's safe, and it's first and third, nobody out.
Well, this is just pure anticipation by Jason Worth, getting a good primary lead, a good secondary lead, and as soon as he sees the ball down, he breaks. Castillo thinks he has a chance at third base, and had there been a force out, he might have, but with the tag play, Worth on the great read slides in safely ahead of the throw from Castillo, and now you have runners at the corners with nobody out, and everything looks cool with the Exmo, doesn't it? Look at that. Helmet in his face, hair everywhere. Castillo gambled, didn't pay off.
Here's Ryan Zimmerman, 2-for-4 against the lefty, career with a pair of doubles. And over the next hour or so, the shadows will be a problem for the hitter. So what a good time of the day. What a good stage of the game for the Nats to take a crooked number lead here with a run last inning on a Desmond RBI and two more here in the third. Ryan singled hard off the shortstop's glove first time. He'll take that fastball up and away, 2-0. Target in.
That's the cut fastball at 86. Power zone. Moving to the northeast, I believe, at about 30 miles an hour. It's about to hit Cape Cod.
Two and one. A lot of hitting room right side, and Zimmerman just dumps it into the right field corner fair. An RBI as Worth comes around, and it'll be second and third, nobody out, with LaRoche stopping at third base. Ryan Zimmerman, 22nd RBI, his 6th in his last 11 games.
What a pretty piece of hitting right there by Ryan Zimmerman. He'll get the Zimmer mitt as he drives in Jason Worth. Just gets an elevated fastball away. Give Worth credit for advancing to third base to allow Zimmerman to just think about putting the ball in play for an RBI. He does it right there. Scores Worth easily. LaRoche around third, held by Henley. And the Zimmerman is on. And Bryce Harper would love to put his on too. Or not. Maybe, you jog around the bases, you don't need it on.
Well, Ryan Zimmerman now, career 3 for 5 against Russin with 3 doubles. Pair of RBIs, or rather 1 RBI right there. Enters Bryce Harper, who's 1 for 2 against him. With a base on balls, and that's strike 1. Third inning, the Nationals 4 runs on 6 hits. And Harper pulling off with that right foot, unable to make contact there on 90. It's 0-2.
Yeah, balance not quite where he wants it yet. We saw it yesterday, kind of falling all over after his swing toward his own dugout. But a lefty might be just what the doctor ordered. You talk to lefties that face lefties, they stay in there longer and they think about going the other way.
And a ball that gets away. Harper waves home LaRoche. It's now 5-0. And Zimmerman ends up at third base with nobody out.
Look at the wild pitch right here from Russin. Curveball in the dirt. And it looked like it hit the front of the plate. Did you see that? It hit right in front of the plate. Took a weird hop on Castillo. He was in the right position, but the ball hit the dirt right where it meets the plate.
And then Bryce striking out with a runner at third base. Nobody out. Watch the first out of the inning.
Watch where the ball hits. Right where the dirt meets the plate. Takes a funny hop. You see, the rubber and the black part in front of the plate. Almost like it hit the lip of the cup in golf, and took a weird hop on Castillo, and the Nats will take that free 90 feet and free run.
Next up, Ian Desmond. And Desmond has had great success against Russin. 3 for 5 with a double and a home run. A 4-run inning. Now with a fly ball, could be 5. And that one right over the tarp.
So you look at the plate, look at the front of the plate right there. That's where the ball hit. And it's flush to the ground, but you see the loose dirt right there? There was a divot. They replaced the divot, but that's why the ball took a funny hop on Castillo. He did nothing wrong right there. He was in position to block it. The ball just hit the dirt and the plate right where it meets.
Target in. And Desmond's going to drop an RBI single to right center. Ian Desmond, 2 more RBIs today. 53 on the year. And the Nationals lead 6-0.
Some high sixes in the Nats dugout with the Zimmerman on, and look at Desmond staying inside of that ball nice. You could tell his game plan based on the foul ball was to go the other way against the lefty. It can be a dangerous thing to try to pull a guy that throws like Russin. So Desmond, with a good game plan, good approach, gets the RBI. Nicely done.
5-run inning, still only 1 out. And the 8th man to bat in this inning, Wilson Ramos. And he looks at one, then misses. Ramos 1 for 3 career against the left-hander Russin. Boy, Washington has wasted nothing today. 2 runners stranded, 1 walked in the first, and the other, Desmond, in the second, had already driven in a run. Ramos deep to right center, heading for the scoreboard and up against the board. Desmond motoring around third. He will score. The Nats lead 7-0.
They are laying it on the Cubs right now, and the line is moving. Gio Gonzalez, the 9th hitter of the inning, and Wilson Ramos going the other way. Look at the inside out approach from him as well. Same way as Ian Desmond. This time he goes off the wall, and the thing I like most about that is Wilson Ramos was smart. It's a 7-0 game. He stopped at first base. He didn't try to stretch it into a double and hurt himself, and that's not an easy thing to do. I mean, that was a double for Ramos, but he stayed at first base, and that's okay. Like we always say, Matt Williams is fine with this because he wants the Buffalo in the lineup. I think I have to backtrack a little bit. He thought he had a home run. So yeah. Scratch everything I just said.
He did take it easy.
He did take it easy.
And it is 7-0.
I did get that part right. But I think the Buffalo thought he had a tater, and it wasn't. So got caught watching one.
You are forgiven, Wilson Ramos. You made it 7-0.
Me, not so much.
Gio hit the ball well first time. Mike Holt playing shallow at third, expecting a bunt. And there it is. And Gio will sacrifice perfectly. That'll be 1-4. His second sacrifice bunt of the year.
Gio having fun.
Get some pizza ready. Now the Nats just have to win the ball game. They've already scored 7 or more. When that happens, coupled with a W, you get 50% off regular menu prices at papajohns.com. Enter promo code NATS50. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, the official pizza of your Nats. And this is valid at participating locations in D.C., Maryland, and Northern Virginia. Denard Span started all of this with an opposite field single. Facing Chris Russin for the first time. Chopper. Pitcher better get it. He was able to cut it off and get the play done at first. One of the Nationals' biggest innings of the year. 6 runs, 6 hits, doubles galore, 7-0. Robert Griffin III, right with our troops. Nice. It's our DynCorp International Troop Recognition, and it's brought to you by DynCorp International. We serve today for a better tomorrow.
He looks good in that jersey.
Yeah, the Armed Forces football team just got a whole lot better.
He looks like he could put a helmet on and go get a base hit right now.
Well, the Nats have done plenty of that. 7 runs on 8 hits. Going into the 4th inning now, Gio, 53 pitches, 34 strikes. Working with a big lead, and the Cubs will have 3, 4, 5 due up in this inning.
Well, he appreciates the 7-0 score. Just a reminder, as you enjoy cold one, I look forward to Miller time later in tonight's/today's game. That's brought to you by Miller Lite.
So we haven't had Miller time yet. How good will it be later? What a good sight. Ballpark full. Beautiful day. Scoreboard looking fantastic. And now it's up to Gio to pump some strikes, attack these Cub hitters, and get this game on through the middle innings. Rizzo struck out looking first time. Low and away, ball 1. 4th inning underway. Anthony in this series 0 for 6. RBI ground ball yesterday. And a good running fastball to the inside edge. Jammed him in a 1-hopper right over the Nats dugout.
Might have to get RG3 to the yard a little more often. He's a good luck charm. 7-0 score. He needs to come to more Nats games.
Yeah, he shows up in big offense. Well, in a football type 7 on the board, by the way.
Yeah, just heard that somewhere. You know, I've been on teams when you have a big trade. And a lot of times, you know, people just think that, you know, players are pieces of meat. It's a video game. You go out there. But when you have a guy like Jeff Samardzija, who's been a part of the organization since 2006 when he was drafted, a big leaguer since 2008, and really, you know, a character guy in that clubhouse. When you have a trade like that, there's a huge letdown as a team. You become family. You live together for 6 to 8 months every single season. And, you know, when you have a guy that's been part of your organization, you know, homegrown guy that's a character guy like Samardzija, he gets traded. You just have that sinking feeling when you come to the yard. You see it on the news, but then all of a sudden he's not in his locker anymore. He's been part of your team for so many years, and the guy you go to, your ace, you can come out flat, and taking nothing away from the Nationals and what they've done here today. They've swung the bats, but you know, I've been in clubhouses when one of your main guys gets traded, and it's tough to get over. It really is. You're losing a friend, you're losing a teammate, you're losing a brother to another team that is in another league, and you're probably not going to see him very often. And it's not an easy thing to go through as a player, and I don't know if fans realize that, how close you become as teammates, especially when you've been in one place your whole career.
Right. Well, Samardzija and Jason Hamill added to an already pretty good Oakland pitching staff. All right, Dan has Robert Griffin III. Gentlemen, take it.
I do, Bob. Thank you very much. Here with Robert Griffin III. Robert, thank you for taking a couple minutes. Now, we know you do the football thing. We know you ran track at Baylor. Did you do any ball when you were younger? Did you play baseball at all?
Actually, baseball was the first sport I ever played. When I was 7, 8 years old, I played baseball, shortstop, and center field. So, you know, I know a little bit about the game, but not as much as these guys.
Shortstop and center field. Now, let's see. If we tossed you up on the mound right now, we know you've got a decent arm, and if I had a radar gun, what do you think you'd be bringing? You touching 90?
I mean, mean, it's really hard. I don't think people understand how hard it is to touch 90, but I think with a few weeks of work in preparation for that, I think I could throw 90.
Okay. Now, you said Gio invited you out here a couple months ago. You're able to get out. You're just telling me that it's cool to have the kind of cross-sport relationships within this town. What's that like for you?
I mean, it's amazing. You know, with Bryce and Gio and then John Wall, you know, we've had a chance to hang out and you know, kind of unite the whole city, and that's our goal. So it's great that I can come out here and watch him, you know, pitch in his third start since coming back from injury. So I'm excited about that.
Thanks for taking some time, Robert. Enjoy the rest of your off season.
Thank you, brother.
Nice get there, Dan. Great to hear from Robert Griffin III. Gosh, training camp not that far away. Wellington Castillo flying out to Jason Worth, 2 outs.
I feel like you could take a baseball, stand at home plate, and throw it out of the ballpark straight away center field. Maybe. Left center field for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could throw a football that far, right?
Some kind of athlete. There's some people in Kansas, Oklahoma, and certain parts of Texas who couldn't wait for him to graduate. He was a terror for those Baylor Bears. There's a little chopper. Ramos calls the pitcher off, makes a great play, and a big-time strong throw to Adam LaRoche to retire Mike Oltz. So the walk, no problem for Gio. Cubs have stranded 3. The Nats, defense, and the bats, 7-0. One day later.
Is that a Cub? Is that a Chicago Cub?
Is that a Chicago Cub?
It's a really nasty,
orange,
dirty Chicago Cub. Look at him.
Run over like a kitty on an interstate. I just hope George didn't hurt himself more.
I mean, that's scary. Wow. Yeah, that's
check out the sport code.
That's nightmare time right there. Orange bear.
Okay.
That's just not right.
Here comes tall Tom Jefferson. Ooh, just fighting off Abe, it appeared at the end.
I mean, it just seems like lately this, whatever comes out of the stands in the president's race is a nightmare waiting to happen. The Goblin the other day, now.
I think it all started with the Sharknado last year.
A bear with no eyes. Yeah, the Sharknado. You got to watch those bears with no eyes because it increases their sense of smell.
Just don't look them in the no eyes.
Yes.
Anthony Rendon, a walk, a steal, a double, an RBI, and a run scored. Batting average on a steady rise. He has a 9-game hitting streak now. Rendon is 12 for his last 33, so 360 over that streak of his. And the batting average well up into the 80s, or the 280s.
There's another nightmare.
Wow.
Great. Anthony Rendon with one of his best at-bats this year. Kimber one, you can't top that. That's going to be his best at-bat this year unless he does something in postseason baseball, and he hopes he gets a chance.
Yeah, the only thing better in this regular season would be a walk-off something against a pitcher like that. That one tied the game. (3-2) to Anthony Rendon. Target away. Then he goes that way to stay alive against Chris Russin, who came in that third inning, 19 pitches, 12 strikes. And Rendon out. Russin's second strikeout.
He got caught leaning out over the plate, looking to go the other way. You could tell by the swings in the course of the at-bat. Plus, look at pitch track, everything outside. Then Russin comes in with 89 to lock Rendon up for strike 3. Good pitch.
Worth 1 for 2, RBI double going the other way last time. Now Jason, 7 for his last 12, 7 RBIs. So offensive numbers that are starting to spike. The Nats started today 7th in the National League, scoring 344 runs. It's a plus 45 on the season. And shadows creeping, so a great time to have the lead, much less a big one. Nats have played 5 weeks of good baseball. 21-12 over that time. Second best to Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Seattle. Tied with those ball clubs, and only Oakland better. And Worth keeps on hacking. Boy, he's making some kind of contact now. 2 for 3 today. And that's his 4th hit and 5th time on base in this series.
Yeah, the Nats have played good baseball for the last 5 weeks, but the Braves have played 5 weeks of good baseball this week. They're ahead 7-3 today, and
yeah,
you feel like this one's going to come down to the wire. The Nats play the Braves 9 more times this year, and those games are going to be huge.
And 2 of those 3 series in Atlanta. LaRoche, that ball hits the side of the mound, deflects to Castro. So an easy 6-3 double play ball for him will end the bottom of the 4th inning. It's all Nats. Gio back to work with a big, big lead. 97 brought to you by VW. Number 10 retired by the Expos for the great Andre Dawson. 11 seasons on the artificial turf, which probably cut his career short by a few. Hall of Famer FP, great member of, well, we call it our organization. He was a great Expo.
It went into the Hall of Fame as an Expo. 21-year career for the Hawk. 279 career average. 438 career home runs, 1,591 RBI, and a gem of a person. If you've ever got to meet the Hawk, he is the best.
And an MVP with the Cubs in a year he was so good, they finished last, and he was the MVP. Gio Gonzalez, top of the 5th inning. Cogle and Barney, then we'll see what they do with the pitcher spot. There's no activity in the Cub bullpen, so Russin may get an AB here.
That was 1987. He hit 49 home runs and only drove in 137.
Wow, tough play. Handcuffed Rendon. Anthony got his body behind it. Textbook baseball there. I had forgotten that the Hawk won 8 Gold Gloves and 4 Silver Sluggers. Wow.
Finished second in the MVP a couple of times. Had 189 hits in 1983. And just a wonderful, wonderful person. Better guy than he was a player, and he was a Hall of Famer as a player.
Here's Darwin Barney, flied to left first time.
Yeah, he also lived in the Ivy when he played for the Cubs.
I thought that was great when they finally pulled him out of that Ivy on that commercial.
I mean, that's a shorter commute to work than I have.
We wonder where Andre was for a couple of years, and they pulled him right out of right field. That was great.
Anybody seen the Hawk in my car keys?
That was funny. Some guys come out of the cornfield and some come out of the brick and the ivy. 0-2. Barney way out ahead. He came into this game hot, 7 for his last 12. Gio starting against the Cubs for the 6th time in his career. He's 2-1 with a 3.03 earned run average. Change up. What a great weapon it's become. And that, despite not having 1 in 2 innings, is strikeout number 5. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
I mean, you could really make the argument right now that the changeup is Gio Gonzalez's best pitch. He has been using it often. He's using it for a strike when he needs it. It's basically been his out pitch when, he first became a national. It was fastball, curveball. That's it. Fastball 95 up in the zone. He'd break the curveball off of it. We called it the wiffle ball curveball when he first came over here. Now the changeup might be better than the curve.
Chris Russin, a 129 career hitter, fouls out to Ryan Zimmerman. And Gio Gonzalez gets the kind of inning you want when you've got a big lead. You want to pitch deep into the game. No hits for the Cubs since the 2nd.
Back to the third inning. The line was moving. It started with Denard Span. He singled Anthony Rendon. 9-pitch double. That scored Span. Then Jason Worth with a double. Ryan Zimmerman with a double. Ian Desmond with a single. Stay with me, folks. The Buffalo thought he had a homer. But a long single to score Ian Desmond. And as quickly as we could show you, that is the 6-run third for the Nationals. And it's 7-0 as we speak.
Several times this year, the Nats have had 4 doubles in an inning. They just did it again. So some folks going for a stroll, maybe stopping by for a cool one.
I'll tell you what, a Miller Lite is the last thing on my mind today.
And why's that?
Well, it was a fun 4th of July for everybody.
Okay.
Good time. I would say after the ball game yesterday.
I think everything was after the ball game yesterday.
Those happen.
Ryan Zimmerman 2 for 2. And as mentioned earlier now, 3 for 5 now against Chris Russin with 3 doubles. Ryan's batting average still at that point of the season where a couple of hits jumps it up. 253 to 264 today. And he goes right field. This will be near the line for Justin Ruggiano. With the glasses on, puts it away in the sun field out there. Bottom of the 5th underway. Harper, Desmond, the next 2.
Austin Mahone is coming, folks. He's coming to Nats Park Saturday, July 19th, as part of the Nats Live free post-game concert series. That's presented by the Travel Channel. The performance is free after the game with your Nats game ticket, so call 202-675-NATS or visit nationals.com/Nats Live. Austin Mahone.
Right after the All-Star break.
Yes.
Bryce Harper, a sacrifice bunt that set up the Nats' first run of the day. And a strikeout, 0 for 1. 1 for 3 career against the 27-year-old left-hander Chris Russin, who drops one right under his bat. That ball well hit to left center. Trying to plug the gap, but it's coming back. And Chris Coughlin over to grab it. It's one of Bryce's better swings since coming back.
Yeah, you thought the lefty might keep him in there a little bit longer, but see how early his hips are spent right there? Kind of spinning off, and when you do that, you lose power. So he kind of cut across that ball, and by cutting across it, it had that inside-out rotation, which brought it back to Coughlin in left center field. So the hips just a little bit early for Harper. And you know, when you miss that much time, it's going to take a minute to get your timing back. And trust that your hands are quick and keep that front side closed a little bit longer. But you know, the tendency for a lot of hitters in spring training is to go out and get the baseball, kind of speed things up, and the ball looks fast. It takes a good portion of the season to slow everything down, and Bryce Harper right now is flying open a little bit, and that's very understandable for how much time he's missed. He'll figure it out, and when he does, look out.
3-0 to Desmond. 4-pitch walk with 2 outs here in the 5th. Ian Desmond on for the 3rd time today. And it'll bring in Wilson Ramos, who almost left the yard against this left-hander last time up. Another walk for the Nats. Their 267th of the year, so over $13,300. And that money given by Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield. For every walk, $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. Ramos 1 for 2. RBI number 15. Shadows have reached the pitcher's mound now. Target way in there. Ramos jammed a bit off to the right side.
We see that ball starting bright, then it turns to dark. That's where it becomes really tough for a hitter. I'm sure as I say that, Wilson Ramos is going to hit one off the wall, but you know, the ball starts in the sunlight and then all of a sudden it turns gray and you lose seams. You can't tell rotation, and sometimes you lose the ball completely.
Target in. And maybe didn't see it well. Late swing.
Now watch the ball right here. It's going to start with sunlight on it. So there's the red seams. Then all of a sudden it goes into the shade. And as a hitter, you lose the red seams. The ball kind of turns gray. And you got that whole bright background in it too, where you know that has an effect on it. And this is right about what time that visiting teams hit for a 7 o'clock game. And when you're standing behind the cage, a lot of times the visiting team can't even see BP pitching, let alone game pitching.
And Ramos on a pitch down and in, strikes out, and that'll do it for the bottom of the 5th inning. Nats strand only their 4th runner today. They pulled out the lumber and lead the Cubs by 7. Telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Nothing like the pretzel W at the ballpark on a day like this. You ever heard of a kid named Zach Walters?
Mm-hmm.
Let's check in with him on our PNC Bank minor league report for the Achiever in you. And he's struggling a bit. Last 10 games hitting just $175. 11 homers on the year. Zach was called up April 13th at Atlanta when Ryan Zimmerman broke his thumb. Mainly spot duty here, primarily a pinch hitter. So FP, how tough is that when you have to go back and just start grinding it out again?
Well, it's not easy, especially when you're at the major league level and you get used to the lifestyle and the amenities here. But he's done a nice job down there. He was on fire about a week ago, so just hit a little rut, and that's part of playing every day in a 142 game season, which it is in the minor leagues, 162 games in the big leagues. But you're going to have your ups, your downs, and your hot streaks and your cold streaks. Right now he's going through a little spell. He'll be all right.
Bouncing ball left side. Zimmerman on the charge. Sets him up for the throw he loves to make on the run. And gets Junior Lake, who's 0 for 3 today.
Well, don't forget about that Zimmerman, too. That one's pretty good. The one he wears on the bases, fun to talk about, but this is the one that got him some gold before. And nobody makes the running play better than Ryan Zimmerman. Everybody say it with me at home, because we always do.
He loves to charge. Here's Justin Ruggiano. Gio stopped him today, came in 7 for 14. And he'll probably hit one off the end of the bat to center that'll drop in front of Denard Span. That gives him a 4-game hitting streak. Now that may not overwhelm you, but how about 8 for 17 during those 4 games? So he'll enter the Cubs box score. Their other hits, Castro, Castillo, and Coughlin in the second, but Castro caught stealing, snuffed out that rally. Before that base hit, Gio had retired 12 of the last 13 Cubs.
Well, we talked about the Tanner Roark at bat, his second at bat, not getting the bunt down with runners on first and second, nobody out yesterday as the turning point. And you could make the argument that the Starlin Castro caught stealing today in the top of the second inning could have been the turning point of this game here today. Good throw by Ramos, and wasn't even close really at second base. No score at that point.
And Gio with 91. He's had the fastball, some swing and miss heat when he has needed it today.
Anthony Rizzo has that look on his face like I didn't even see that pitch. Trust me, I know the look. I had it my whole career.
Well, don't know what good it does you at this time of the season. Maybe a thing or two you can file away for later, but playoff games do start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon at that time of the year, and it can be really tough. Big curveball, swing and a miss.
No, he didn't see that at all.
Gio, strikeout number 6.
He bet fastball, got the curveball, and couldn't pick it up. I've said it before, sometimes the best thing to do in the shadows when it's really tough is stand there, look like you're ready to hit, and hope the pitcher throws you 4 balls before he throws you 3 strikes. Don't even swing.
Here's Castro. Base hit the other way and a walk. So he adds to his .290 batting average. He has a 6-game streak, 10 for his last 22. And by the way, a couple of outs by Gio in this inning, putting him where no Nats starter had gone before this year. So Jordan Zimmermann, May 28 to June 13, had 19 consecutive scoreless innings. And this is for a starter. Tyler Clippard, a 19.2 April 24th through June 11th in relief. So Gio trying to make it 20 innings here.
Seems more focused, seems like he's on a mission, and with the changeup that he's featured since he's returned, as good as I've ever seen him.
Using that changeup away. Desmond on the move. Strong throw, and LaRoche with a beautiful pick. Well, those two guys, something to watch on each end of an outstanding infield play, and a great indication right there. Pitcher loves having support like this.
Just get it close. It's like horseshoes.
on third down and go sit down and rest. He will be at the plate here in a moment. Bottom of the sixth inning. Everything going the Nats' way. Crazy thing about baseball, one day you can't buy a base hit against a tough pitcher, and then a couple guys get traded. The whole complexion of the weekend changes. But we're here to talk about Zimmer mitts, and this is the Bryce Harper version with number 34. So what about this thing? Because we saw that head first slide in Milwaukee that didn't go well for one of their guys and almost rolled his wrist.
Well, it has some protection to it, meaning it's really hard. I mean, it's got a plate here, it's got a plate on the backside, so you can't get stepped on. You obviously can't use your hand while you're running, but you know, this is very heavy, and we slide head first, you use your hands, you want to keep them up, so there's always that danger of this rolling and then hurting the wrist. But when you're talking about the injuries, your protection, this comes in very handy, and wearing it all day today. It's been lucky, so I'm going to keep it. It's hard to keep score with it, though.
Yeah,
it really is.
Out to short, and Gio just kind of trotting down the first base line, and that's okay. His job is to get the Nats deep into this game. He's already pitched 6 innings. And the Nats box. First of all, the Harper sacrifice bunt after a Zimmerman hit in the second. Desmond drove in Ryan, and then the 6-run, 6-hit third inning that knocked out Carlos Villanueva, and then the Nats got 3 more runs against Chris Russin when he came in. A full box score today, and here's Denard Span, 1 for 3 with a base hit and a run scored.
Yeah, you know, just getting back to the hand protector dealy, Bobber. I would not wear this unless I absolutely had to, and I would slide feet first with this only. It just feels weird. I mean, you don't really have any freedom, and like I said, you better keep the top of the surfboard up here, or the nose of the Zimmer mitt up when you slide, or else you're going to roll a wrist. But it's been all the talk around town, and the fans have been wearing them to the ballpark. They've been wearing their oven mitts everywhere, and I think right now DC fascinated with the Zimmer mitt.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It's all over the internet. It's this new invention, Carp, that it's on the computer.
I've heard of the internet. I just didn't know people were walking around town with those.
Yes, they're wearing them to work. They're driving with them.
I know bakers are wearing them to work.
They're wearing them in the weight room to lift weights with. Wow. Everywhere. Zimmer mitts. I just wear mine around the house.
Okay. Do some quick touch-ups with that.
Yeah. Just never know when you're going to fall.
Do you have an apron to match that thing?
Mm-hmm.
That's a fastball on the inside corner, and that's a pretty good pitch by Chris Russin. That'll be his 4th K. All right, here's our television schedule. We'll have a look at the next 5. Tomorrow, of course, the Cubs and the Nats will wrap up the season series. Jake Arrieta, a former Oriole for segue purposes, against Jordan Zimmerman. And then it's 4 in a row with the O's. Monday, Tuesday night here. Wednesday night, Thursday night, WUSA 9 joins us at Camden Yards, one of the great ballparks in baseball. And then it's on to Philly to finish out the pre-All-Star break portion of the season.
That's the version of the Zimmer mitt. Careful with that one, though. You could put an eye out. Look, heads up. Yeah, you could put an eye out. That Zimmer mitt tells how many outs there are.
Anthony Rendon going upstairs and not able to reach it. And Chris Russin, who's settling down here, has him 0-2. Just trying to do a save job on the Cubs bullpen. I just wonder if what happened last night means Jake Arrieta won't be on the move, because there have to be a lot of clubs around baseball more interested in him now. That's Samardzija and Hamill have new homes.
Well, maybe the A's will get him too.
That would be nuts. Rendon turns on one, and he just flies it to the left field wall, missing a home run by maybe a foot. That is as effortless a swing as you will ever see for a guy who just about hit it out. And that's his 2nd double today. What a marvelous young hitter.
I mean, there's just certain hitters you love to watch hit on a daily basis, and this is one of them. Anthony Rendon, you throw it away, he goes the other way. You try to bust him in, he drops the barrel. You remember last time Russin got him with a pitch on the inner half. So what does Rendon do? He makes the adjustment and pulls this one, and this almost got out of here. Look how high up on the fence that hit. What looked like a ball that would be over Coughlin's head almost was a home run, and that would have been number 9 for Rendon. Do I have that right?
He's got 12.
Yeah, I don't know why I put 8 in my scorebook.
By the way, that's his 20th double with 2 today. So 20 doubles, 12 home runs, 5 triples, 37 extra base hits. Here's Worth. He's 2 for 3 today. Jason 8 home runs, 42 RBIs with another driven in today. So he's 8 for his last 13.
I'm pretty sure that Anthony Rendon's going to be hitting second for a while. What do you think? He seems more comfortable there, doesn't he? He loves hitting second.
I mean, you have a number 2 guy like that who can hit behind a runner and drive the ball all over the park. Now Worth will make it 8-0 with a drive to left field. The Nats are doubling the Cubs to death here this afternoon. It's a 3rd hit for Worth. His RBI total jumps up to 43, and some 2-out extra base hit lightning by the Nats here.
And these add-on runs by the Nationals may give Matt Williams a chance to get a few of the regulars off their feet with a day game tomorrow. So you're ahead 8-0 as you see the second double a day from Jason Worth. Did a nice job of staying on that off-speed pitch, digging it out, throwing it down the left field corner, scoring Anthony Rendon. All these weird,
for the offense.
Yeah, all these weird start times. You know, now if you're Matt Williams, you have an opportunity to get some bench guys in the game, let them see some live pitching, and get your horses off their feet.
Then Adam LaRoche with a foul ball. Well, the Nats just came off a 5-game winning streak, trying to restart another one. LaRoche 0 for 3 today. Did advance on a fielder's choice, though, when he chopped that ball in front of home plate. Back in the 3rd, they tried to make a play on Worth at 3rd. It didn't happen, and all of a sudden the Nats had a big inning. So Adam LaRoche putting the ball in play when he was behind in the count turned out to be a big play.
So on July 5th, Jason Worth has more extra base hits in July than he did the whole month of June. That was his 7th. He had 6 in June.
Wow.
He's figuring it out.
Well, the Marlins just pulled one out. 2 in the 9th at St. Louis. Their 42nd win of the year. They started the day 7 back of Atlanta, 5.5 back of the Nats. Washington trying to win its 47th of the year and go back to 8 over. And LaRoche down the right field line. That's going to drop in front of Ruggiano. Jason Worth home to score, and it's 9-0. Adam LaRoche checks in with his 45th RBI.
A quick trip around the bases for Jason Worth. Adam LaRoche adding to his all-star resume. Abe's happy. Everybody in that section fired up. Everybody in the ballpark fired up. And offense is cool.
And still nobody throwing in the Cub bullpen. Chris Russin taking one for the squad here. But he's given up 3 consecutive 2-out hits. And here's Ryan Zimmerman. He's 2 for 3. A run in the 2nd, 6 in the 3rd, and 2 more here in the 6th.
And if I'm Mark Lerner, that guy has season tickets. 9 runs in RG3's first appearance at the Yard this year.
Yeah, good call.
We're blaming him for 9 runs. How about that? Way to go.
Zimmerman right up the middle. It's another hit. I saw an odd stat today that the Nats had one of the longest droughts in baseball since they last had 12 hits. I don't know how exactly they picked out the number 12, but they've gone a baker's dozen with this bouncer.
Well, we said the key play of the day was Castro getting thrown out at second base on the steal.
Since then, avalanche.
Might have been Samardzija getting traded. 13 hits, 9 runs, and a Zimmerman once again. That is the third time today that Ryan has put that thing on.
And Ryan Zimmerman's batting average on the rise still. He'll be up around 270 here with a 3-for-4 day. Bryce Harper, line out to left center last time, hoping to get in on this fun. He's 0-for-2, but he did have a key sacrifice bunt back in the second that got Zimmerman in a position for Desmond to score him. Strike one. Up and away. Wow.
Yeah, offense is cool. 6 for 10. You know, I like what Bryce is doing right here. When you've missed a lot of time, he's seeing pitches, and the more pitches you see, the more likely you are to get your timing back to where it was. The tendency is to do a lot when you come off the disabled list. Show everybody what they've been missing, but when you see pitches, you're working on things without swinging. Tracking the baseball, you know, getting your load straight so you know when to get your foot down. All that stuff, you know, you can't recreate when you're not playing.
And a 2-2 count. Cubs do have Justin Grimm, right-hander, warming up again. And Harper pulls off one, and that's an infield hit if it stays fair, and it'll just get over that chalk line.
Yeah, you called it. Still kind of flying out of there, spinning around, and like I said, you watch the hips kind of go early, then the shoulder goes early, and there's not a lot of bat left for the baseball. Almost like he's anticipating something in and then just runs out of bat.
Wow, that's a great shot of him really open before the ball got there, huh?
Hips flying, shoulder flying, and then the head goes. And it's what Jason Worth was doing a couple of weeks ago, and he fixed it. And you would think Bryce would be right behind him here soon.
Boy, did he. Two. Target in. And Bryce will get jammed and fight it off.
I mean, the only way you really fix it is by playing a lot, seeing a lot of pitches, and really thinking about going the other way and trusting the fact that you have quick hands. Whenever hitters fly open, it's because, you know, they're in a hurry to hit. They're not really trusting the feel of their hands in the bat in the strike zone. And you think the other way, it usually cures that.
Like base hit, left field, and Bryce Harper's going to check in with a base hit. They'll be loaded up. Adam LaRoche not able to score from second with 2 outs. And that would be 5 consecutive 2-out hits.
Yeah, line is moving, and the good ones figure it out. They make the adjustments, and they scratch out base hits when they're not locked in. And Bryce right here going shopping at the 5.5 hole. They had the shift on, and he stayed through it just long enough. You look at the shift to throw it into left field to check in. First time today, 1 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt.
And the Cubs are going to take Anthony Rizzo out of the game. Put Mike Olt at first base, it appears, and bring in Luis Valbuena. So a lot of things happening for the Cubs on a double switch. They are getting hammered. A lot of reasons to wave the caps at the ballpark today. Nationals all over the Cubs, 9 runs on 14 hits. Mike Olt goes over to first base. Luis Valbuena off the bench, and he'll be batting 9th, playing 3rd. And the new pitcher batting 3rd in Rizzo's spot, right-hander Justin Grimm. Right in there to Mr. Bases Loaded himself, Ian Desmond.
Oh, yeah, it's a big at-bat.
6 for 6, 14 RBIs with the sacks jammed this year. Facing Grimm for the first time this season. And he just missed 101. Third base LaRoche, second base Zimmerman, first base Harper, all 3 singles. After the back-to-back Rendon and Worth doubles here in the 6th. And Ian Desmond takes ball 2. Amazing. .25-year-old Justin Grimm, 6'3", 210. Originally drafted by Texas. And part of the Matt Garza deal. The Cubs are still seeing some of the payoff from that last year. And Desmond reaches out enough to stay alive.
You know, hitters usually don't know, stats like you're 6 for 6 with the bases loaded. But I think, Ian Desmond answering a lot of questions in his locker after games. I would imagine
somebody's told
him. And honestly, it's nothing you care about either. You just know that you've taken advantage of some opportunities.
And sometimes when the player has a great stat, it's best not to bring it up.
Well, too late for that.
2-2. Quite a parade here. 2 quick outs, Gio and Span, and then 5 consecutive hits. And Desmond got an off-speed pitch that was sitting up. So career with the bases loaded. 4 hits every 9 at bats, with a couple of 4-run swings.
Wait, the reason you love to hit with the bases loaded, at least for a thinking man's hitter, when you're trying to think along with the pitcher, with the runner on second base, you're thinking, well, are they going to throw me off speed here? Are they pitching around me to get to the guy on deck? It takes all that out of the equation, and you know he has nowhere to put you. You know the pressure's on him. You know he doesn't want to walk in or run, so you're going to get strikes. The reason Ian Desmond is successful with the bases loaded, he swings. Pitchers have to throw strikes with the bases loaded.
And that is going to punch him out on a borderline pitch that Ian thought was up and in. So the 6th inning will come to a close. The Nats get 2 runs on 5 hits and lead it 9-0. Six long innings if you're a Cub or a Cub fan. Ryan Zimmerman, Jason Worth teaming up on offense, having big days, just about everybody up and down the lineup. Anthony Rendon, couple of doubles, and Gio has a 20-inning scoreless streak. He's thrown 88 pitches FP, 60 in the zone.
And it's been the off speed again, the curveball changeup combination. That's the changeup to a fastball in the middle of it. That's one that's really hard to hit, but the curveball's been great, and the changeup has been outstanding as well, and it's all predicated on the fastball command and getting strike one. And Gio Gonzalez, like I said, the last 2+ starts, counting this one, as good as I've ever seen him.
And the Nats with some defensive changes, and you thought they might be getting some guys off their feet. Adam LaRoche gets the rest of the day off. Ryan Zimmerman goes to first base. Kevin Franzen batting cleanup now, checks in for Zimmerman at third. And Matt may not be done. We're going top 7. Castillo, Olton, Coghlan, 5, 6, 7 for the Cubs. Wellington Castillo, base hit to left in the 2nd. Fly ball to right in the 4th. Perfect at the knees with 90. So at 90 pitches right now. He's due to bat second in the bottom of the 7th. We'll see how Matt plays it. Bat out in front of Franzen. The ball got to him in a hurry, and he throws it to Ryan Zimmerman. Ryan dropped it on the exchange, and about to throw the ball around the horn. 1 out.
New inning, new Zimmerman, not a problem. You come into a big league game, ball's going to find you. Kevin Franzen right into the ball game and had to negotiate a broken bat and a ground ball all in one. A nice play. He has fun playing baseball, I'll tell you that.
Oh my gosh, Gio, almost 50 pitches fewer than Villanueva, Russin, and Grimm. Tough day for the Cubs, trying to piece together a start upon the departure of Jeff Samardzija. Mike Alta struck out and bounced out right in front of the plate. Ramos pounced to throw him out 2 innings ago. Gio in line for his 6th win of the year. Great breaking ball. Hitter commits. It's in the dirt. Strike 2. Off speed, a beauty. That's number 7 for Gio today.
That's a changeup again, 82 miles an hour. And he just had such a good feel for it. The arm slot, the arm speed, the movement, the same of his fastball. And I mean, honestly, it's taken him to a different level. This pitch has taken Gio Gonzalez to a whole different level.
And did you see how far gone the bat was when that thing got there? Amazing.
He's just not a rare back, and here it is, hit it if you can guy anymore. He's throwing that changeup in there, and it's unbelievable.
Chris Coughlin gets jammed, 1 pitch out, and Gio Gonzalez gets this 9-0 game to the 7th inning stretch. Having one of his best days of the year. Great crowd, 38,473, enjoying our Hyundai 7th inning stretch.
Here it is. It's the AT&T fan photo. It's Thomas Jefferson in the middle, and that's the Andrews sisters with him. There they are at the ball game, and I need to start hanging around with Tom a little more because he has got it going on.
I'm not sure he wants you around.
Yeah, he is doing well for himself. Let's just put it that way. Some people like a man with a huge head and gray hair.
Hey, guy's been around for over 200 years. Got to be an interesting person to talk to. Ramos, Gio, and Span. Bottom of the 7th. Gio's thrown 96 pitches, and he's on deck, chatting with anybody who will listen. Fastball for a strike. Wilson 1 for 3 today with an RBI double. So he's 8 for 24 in 7 games since returning to the ball club. Everything on the upswing with this offense. Stopped by the very good, as always, against the Nats, Jason Hamill yesterday. But right back at it today. 9 runs on 14 hits. And it'll set up an interesting rubber game tomorrow for this series and the season series with Jordan Zimmerman and Jake Arrieta.
If for some reason the Nats play the A's in the World Series, Jason Hamill's starting game 1. You can count on it.
If he doesn't start 1, 4, and 7, Bob Melvin's crazy. On the corner, good fastball from Justin Grimm. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He came in, struck out Desmond with the bases loaded to snuff out that 6th inning. That could have gotten the Nats to double-digit runs. And Ramos just strokes it the other way to stay alive. This is the Nats' largest offensive output since a 9-2 win at San Francisco June 9th. Last time they scored double digits about a week before that when the Rangers were here. 2-2, and Ramos, look at him reach and hit that ball about 340 or 350 toward the gap. Wilson Ramos with his 2nd double of the day.
There's been a lot of pretty swings in this game today by the Washington Nationals. This right here may be the prettiest swing of the day. Watch him go down and get this curveball, and you look at Castillo, he's going to block it, but Ramos just going with the pitch. Look at him make the adjustment, extend, go down and get it, stay through it, and drive it into the gap.
Wow.
That
7 doubles by the Nats.
Is big league hitting right there.
Here's Gio. 9-0. He'll be swinging, and he singles to left field. Ramos will stop at 3rd base. They're not going to bunt up by 9 runs, so Gio goes ahead and gets his 3rd hit of the year.
RG3 loves it. The fans love it. And how about a standing ovation for Gio Gonzalez? Do it all, Gio. Well, why not? You've done everything else. And that's a good swing. Got a fastball. Drove it to left. Little bat flip there, too. Did you see that? And then a standing ovation, and RG3 says yes. That's my guy right there, Gio.
Scott Hairston's going to bat for Denard Span. Give him the rest of the day off. So we could see Harper in center and Hairston in left when the Nats take the field for the 8th. Scott Hairston 0 for 1 career against Justin Grimm. And as a pinch hitter, he's been good. 3 for 15. May not drive you too far, but how about a homer and 4 RBIs? This will be one of the ball games, one of the few this year when Denard Span misses even an inning. Hairston looks it all the way in, strike 2. Offense cooking lately. Haven't heard a lot from the bench guys. Scott played for the Cubs last year. Hit $172 in 52 games. But he hit 8 home runs and drove in 19. He was traded over here for right-handed pitcher Ivan Pinheiro and a player to be named later. And then hit .224 for the Nats in 33 games with a couple of home runs and 7 batted in.
That should move Bryce Harper to center field.
One ball, 2 strikes. And he goes upstairs, couldn't get the fastball, strikes out.
See, the future stars of the Washington Nationals, the Potomac Nationals, your summer home. There are plenty of promotions at the Fitz, including fireworks night, bobbleheads night, All right, I'll say it right. Kids eat free Sundays and $1 Mondays. Go to PotomacNationals.com or call the number on your screen.
Here's Anthony Rendon. 2 doubles, an RBI, 2 runs, a walk, a stolen base. And Nate McLouth next for Jason Worth. Maybe a Danny Espinosa inning or 2 later. We'll see how Matt Williams gives some of his guys a day off. He's already done it for LaRoche and now Span. Worth would be next. Runners at the corners with only 1 out. Quick bat.
Anthony Rendon's at-bats are slowly becoming an event in and of themselves.
Yeah, where do you pitch him?
I mean, there's no holes in the swing, and he's so quick that he's able to wait a click longer than most hitters, and it's such an advantage to have. And only the great hitters throughout the history of this game have had that, to where you can just let the ball travel, a hair more than the average hitter, and it allows you to see it, recognize it, and still put it in play with authority.
2-2 and Rendon, a base hit if it's fair. It's fair by plenty. Right field corner, gets by Ruggiano. Ramos has scored. Gio to third. The Nationals lead 10-0.
Third double of the day for Anthony Rendon. Are you kidding me?
And the Nats 8th of the day.
I mean, how good is this guy? I'm telling you, folks, I've seen a lot of good hitters throughout the course of my career. Played with Barry Bonds. He was a guy that had that, too, where he could wait till the last second and then just go unbelievably quick hands to the baseball. And that's what I mean, this is line to line today. He just hit one off the left field fence last time up. Now he goes down the right field line. And Ruggiano, with a steep route to that baseball, gets by him. And it's just fun to watch Rendon hit, I'll tell you what.
And here's Nate McLouth.
It's must-see TV. It really is.
McLouth for Worth.
We talked about Bryce Harper getting to a point where he trusts his hands. Anthony Rendon has that. It's just an innate ability that he has with that bat speed, that it's all about his hands, and they're quick. So now as a hitter, you just get that foot down. Most hitters have to generate stuff. That's why you see guys with leg kicks and doing all kinds of stuff before the ball gets there. They're trying to generate bat speed. They're trying to generate enough speed to get that barrel out in front of home plate. That's why they do all the stuff with the lower half and leg kicks and whatnot. And you see Ryan Zimmerman doing all that. That's to create bat speed, to create torque. And Rendon doesn't have to do any of that because he's been blessed with amazing bat speed, quick hands. He doesn't have to do a whole lot like a Paul Molitor or you name a lot of guys. Barry Bonds, let the ball travel, basically take it out of the catcher's glove, wait that extra click. I mean, I go on and on and on. It's just fun to watch him play, and I think we're lucky to have a guy like this to watch play every day.
I think your Molitor call is the most accurate of all because they're similar type hitters. I mean, Bonds in a kind of a class for power all by himself, but Paul Molitor, the ball got so deep when he hit, and all of a sudden it's in a gap somewhere.
Well, that's my comparison with Barry, not the power, just how long he could wait and make decisions that mere mortals couldn't.
Nate McLouth takes strike 3, 2 outs in the inning, and it'll be Kevin Franzen now for the first time after he replaced Ryan Zimmerman at third base last inning, who replaced Adam LaRoche at first. So not a pinch hitting appearance for Kevin, who's been very good in that role. But overall, hitting .237, a homer that helped the Nats win a ball game in Arizona, and 8 RBIs. So 3 bench guys getting playing time here. Zimmerman on deck in the bottom of the 7th.
And if you're sitting at home right now thinking, well, FP, why doesn't everybody hit like Rendon? You can't. It's stuff you can't teach. I mean, the fast hands, the quick bat, that's God-given. You really can't teach that. You can work on it and get to a certain point, but you know, after a while, it's just you're blessed.
That's a little bit outside. 2-1. The Braves having a day somewhat like the Nats. 10 runs on the board. They lead Arizona 10-4 in the 7th inning. So they're about to win their 9th in a row. And the Nats well ahead here to stay a game and a half back.
Yeah, starting to create some distance from the rest of the pack in the National League East. Miami 7 back at the start of the day. Mets 10, Phillies 11.
Yeah, how about winning 9 in a row and gaining very little ground on the team behind you? There's Franzen with a base hit to right. Gio scores. Rendon stays at 3rd. Bob Henley's not sending any extra runners here unless he's absolutely sure they're scoring. And now the Nats are on top by 11. Great swing by Kevin Franzen.
Yeah, Secret Service checking in right here off the bench. Kevin Franzen, look at that. Just throw the barrel on the baseball, put it in play, and good things happen. So now the bench, or the Secret Service, as Kevin Franzen is calling them, has checked in with a knock too. I like the nickname.
Yeah. Sounds a little better dressed than the Goon Squad, which was so good here a couple years ago.
Secret Service fits in DC.
I like it. Ryan Zimmerman 3 for 4 today. His batting average is 3 points south of 270.
If they start coming off the bench with earpieces, and then we got problems.
Yeah, Dick Tracy watches and all that kind of stuff. Target in. Way into Ryan, and the count's even 1-1 here in the 7th. I have the Nats most runs in a game this year. 11 on April 25th here against San Diego. 11-1 win behind Steven Strasburg. They've been to 9 several times. As I mentioned, 10 against Texas, 10 against Miami back in April. So kind of an epic day for the offense here. A little bit away, and the count's 2-2 to Ryan Zimmerman. So we could see Harper in center, as we mentioned earlier. He could be in right, McLeod in center. We'll see what Matt Williams does with the defense here, with Worth and Span out of the game. McLeod can play right, and so can Ryan Zimmerman. That's to the gap. Anthony Rendon coming home, and we'll keep an eye on Kevin Franzen. He'll just cruise around the bases, and when he touches home plate, it's 13-0. Ryan Zimmerman 4 for 5, 3 runs batted in.
And a special delivery for the 4th time today.
It's 9 doubles, by the way.
9 doubles. 2nd of the day for Ryan. 4th time he's put on his oven mitt, and look at this piece of hitting. I mean, the line is moving once again. Well, 10 batters in the 3rd. 8 in the 7th. We're in the 6th, and now.
By the way, I got to retract 1 double. I gave Wilson Ramos a double off the wall back in the 3rd inning. So he did not go to 2nd on that?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
He thought it was a tater.
That's right. So 8 doubles.
It's all right. You'd rather have him at first than healthy. There's the battery today. They've been great. Offense, defense. Steve McCaddy having a nice day over there so far.
Bryce Harper base hit the other way last time. And of course, about 3/4 of the field engulfed in shade now. A little easier for the hitters now than it was an hour ago.
It's going to be engulfed in tomorrow if they keep hitting like this.
19 hits. Left-hander Wesley Wright. I mean, the Cubs bullpen still has to pitch another inning after this. They were feeling pretty good about themselves. Beat the Nats yesterday, 7-2. Their 5th consecutive win on the road. Their 4th on this trip after sweeping at Boston. Then the trade, and now this. 3-1 to Harper. The 8th Nat to bat in the inning. And Grimm goes off speed and walks Bryce. And here comes Ian Desmond with 2 men aboard. This is the number 7 hitter, and it's his 5th at bat of the day.
Check out some, Ian Desmond today. There's an RBI knock. That was in the 2nd inning. He scored Ryan Zimmerman. And then how about another RBI single in the 3rd inning? That scored Zimmerman as well.
Looks like another double switch for Rick Renteria. So Grimm comes in, pitches the equivalent of 1 inning, striking out 3 batters, but a whole lot of trouble for him in between. The left-hander Wesley Wright coming in. That kind of day, bringing in a lefty to face a righty like Ian Desmond. Well, things have changed quickly for the Nats, but they have to face Jake Arrieta, who the last couple of times out has taken no-hit games into the middle to late innings. So he's been dealing, so is Jordan Zimmerman for the Nats. Zimmerman 6-4, 17 starts, 2.95 ERA. Tough at home, tough as nails at home. At first pitch, right around 135. After FP and I say hi to you at 1:30 tomorrow. Johnny and Ray will get it started. Masson 2 with Nats Extra. 1 o'clock straight up. Ryan Sweeney will bat not 9th. He will bat 7th. Pardon me. He'll bat third and play left field. The new pitcher is batting seventh. That's left-hander Wesley Wright. So Ian Desmond, the aforementioned good day at the plate for him.
Nats have scored so many runs, my internet's not working right now.
Ian Desmond, and because of late game matchups, has never hit against Wesley Wright.
Well, I'm sure Jake Arrieta is somewhere in the Cubs clubhouse or in their dugout saying, get it all out of your system today, boys.
Wilson Ramos on deck. He started this inning with that double to right center. The Nats have added 4 runs. Desmond taking healthy hacks. Washington had 10 men at the plate in the third, and they could do it again. That's right in there. Ian Desmond walks away. He knew it. And the 7th inning is over. 5 more hits, 4 more runs for the Nats, who lead by 13. Nationals baseball on MASN, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by visitannapolis.org. Find it here. We're going to the top of the 8th inning. Barney, Valbuena, Lake for the Cubs, with Gio still on the mound. 96 pitches, 66 strikes. So Scott Hairston stays in to play left field. That moves Bryce Harper and Nate McLeod. Nate will be in right and Bryce in center. And Gio delivers strike 1. He gets 1 out here. It ties his longest outing of the year. 7 1/3 at Philadelphia, May 4th.
You know, we've talked a lot about the off speed and the changeup for Gio, but what I've also seen in the last 3 starts, counting today, is a calmer demeanor. Not as excitable if one pitch doesn't go his way.
Yeah.
Very relaxed, but still intense.
And out to short, scooped up by Ian Desmond. Over to Zimmerman for the out. And we'll get our first look today at Luis Valbuena, who will hit next. He's 1 for 3 career against Gio with a base on balls. Came in to play third base in the 6th inning. and 0 for 5 yesterday. Yeah, you know, thinking about that, FP, I just wonder if those touch pitches, those off-speed pitches, maybe you got to be calmed down a little bit to throw those effectively and not overthrow those if you're all amped up. And that may be an answer to some of the. And we love the life of Gio on the mound. We love the way he shows his emotions, but sometimes they'll get away from him, and he does look like a different guy. Goes front door curveball there and misses up and in. Ian Desmond again. And 2 quick outs on ground balls to the shortstop.
Can you beat the best? I don't think so. Join millions of players now on the only official home run derby mobile game from MLB.com. Square off against your friends from around the world live in multiplayer derby mode and climb to the top of the leaderboards. Download today for free on the Apple Store and Google Play. I'm telling you, they can put anything on here, and I will read it.
Gio over 100 pitches now, trying to go 8 for the first time this year. With that out, it's his longest outing. Because of the pitch count, doubtful he would come out for the 9th. We'll see. Career 4 complete games, 2 shutouts, and a 1-1. Just throwing free and easy right now, playing a pretty effective game of catch with Wilson Ramos.
Yeah, 13-run cushion will do that for you. But you know, Gio can do this in a 1-0 game too.
No swing, says Mike Everett.
RG3 is probably wondering who the Nats kicker is to mix the extra point. I mean, you got to keep him here, don't you? I mean, at least tomorrow.
Depends on who's doing the keeping. 2-2. Fear not, Messengers. We'll be here with you. 135. Zimmerman, Arrieta. Good matchup. Changeup. Gio just waited for it and stabbed it.
Do it all.
You know, the hitter hit a changeup back at him, but he wasn't fooled. We'll give him a star on that one. And 8 great innings for Gio Gonzalez today. It's all Nats with the bats, but a lot of credit goes to him for stopping the Cubs a day after they scored 7.
The bottom of the 8th inning. Remember, our Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers are donating $250 to the Children's National Medical Center for every home run a Nats player hits this season. So keep them coming. It's for a great cause. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection. Rick Shue doing a nice job. There it is. 8 doubles today. That ties a franchise record. It's the first time in D.C. history from 2005 to present. But the Expos did it 4 other times. And the truck is telling me that in 1998 against the Phillies, I was part of the 8 double game. So, all right. Must have been a broken bat. Bat died a hero. Bloop job down the left field line. And I stretched a triple into a double.
9 drives in the box score. And the bottom of the 8th rolls around with Wilson Ramos leading off against Wesley Wright. Wilson, a really nice day. RBI single, double, run scored, and a fastball from Wesley Wright that just missed. Danny Espinosa next for Gio. You want to give your guys some at bats on a day like this, and Matt Williams will be able to use everybody but his backup catcher today the way you want it.
When you're the hitting coach on days like this, you feel like you're still playing and you went 4 for 4. And those days when you get shut out and your team gets only a couple of knocks, you take those home with you. Those are sleepless nights. So Rick Shue doing a great job as usual. We're going to have a good night tonight before the 1:35 start tomorrow.
13 runs on 19 hits. Thrilling a crowd of 38,473. Ramos jumps back and he strikes out. 2 Ks since coming in for Wesley Wright, and he'll face Danny Espinosa now. Danny 0 for 2 career against him. And for the 9th, it'll be Craig Stammen.
I think at 109 pitches, when you're coming off the disabled list with a sore shoulder, that's a good move by Matt Williams. Preservation, far more important than going for a shutout in a 13-0 game.
Low and into Danny, who this year from the right side, well documented. 81 points higher than the left side. 277 over 196. Then he gets jammed and pops one up to left. So the Nationals will score 13 runs unless the top of the order delivers something else here. And another AB for Scott Hairston with 2 outs in the 8th. Hairston 0 for 1 career against the left-hander Wesley Wright. Scott's made most of his living taking advantage of left-handed pitching.
So 17 runs in Baltimore in 2011 is the most runs the Nationals have ever scored in a game, and they've done the 21 hit thing 3 different times. It's the most hits they've had in a game. And if I'm not mistaken, that 2011 game might have been the game that Jason Marquis and Jim Riggleman got into it in the dugout when he took him out before the 5th inning. And they had words kind of filtered into the clubhouse, and I think Jason had a 5 or 6 run lead at that time, something like that.
Yeah, he was not having a great day, but he was ahead. And that can happen in that ballpark.
I think tomorrow's pitcher for the Cubs, Jake Arrieta, was on the other side of that.
And Hairston into the glove of Wesley Wright. The one-cup pitcher who retired everybody he faced today. We're going to the ninth. Craig Stammen to finish things off. It'll be his 26th ball game. 2.74 ERA, long guy, mop-up guy, set-up guy, you name it. I guess Craig Stammen, you might call him the Ryan Zimmerman of the bullpen. He just does whatever the ball club asks of him and does it very well. By the way, the Nats have 10 shutouts this year. Well, important thing is get the W, get after Jake Arrieta tomorrow, win a series and win a season series, and keep on rolling because the Braves are doing the same. Their game's over, 10-4 final there. Nats will stay a game and a half back in the East.
Chuck looked up that game in 2011 at Baltimore. It was the Jason Marquis game, and it was 12-5, and he was taken out.
Oh boy!
Before qualifying with 5 innings, a 7-run lead. I think I might have got in a fight with the manager for that one. Maybe not in the dugout.
Yeah. Nats will go 47-39, 27-18 at home. Other than a guy named Yu Darvish and another named Jason Hamill, domination by the Nats lately in their own yard. And a base hit by the Cubs. Justin Ruggiano, this guy keeps on rolling, 2 for 4 today. He's now 9 for his last 18. And against Craig Stammen, he is 7 for 10 career with that base hit.
Yeah, and one of his outs today sent Bryce Harper all the way to the wall in left field. Bryce made a nice running catch, so very easily could have had 3 knocks today.
And this is Ryan Sweeney, who came into play left field on a double switch. He'll line one, and that's a double play. Zimmerman right in behind the runner. 4-3, 2 outs. I think Johnny and Ray have enough to talk about today. I bet you Ray's yellow legal pad may be multiple pages today.
I'm impressed with the number of fans that have remained for a 13-0 game, and they've been loud all day. The crowds this whole homestand have been unbelievable, and they were rewarded with 19 hits and 13 runs here in the second game against the Cubs.
And the Cubs are swinging. Bryce Harper's waiting. And one of the largest margins ever for the Nats. 13 runs in a shutout. And it's over at 7:16 Eastern time. For everything that happened today, not that long of a game. 13 runs without a home run.